I'm a yogi. I'd love to have you join me. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications, and share this video with a friend. Thank you.
I am feeling away today. I have been feeling away for several days. The intenseness of the universe has been loud. We have a Mercury. I can't even speak. My mind is so jumbled. I'm struggling with processing my thoughts, deciding what I want to do every day, and then getting it done. And there's several reasons for that. Sometimes I like to think that I'm dying, and that's not the best. That's not the best area to focus in. I'm not dying. Mercury is in retrograde. When that happens, literally the energies of certain forces go backwards. It's almost like we're moving backwards. It's like situations of our past come back up and we have a chance to revisit them. We have a chance to say, what are we going to do in this situation this time? We know how we responded last time. So how are we going to respond this time? Like maybe we want to curate a shift. Maybe we want to change our habitual reaction to something. And so Mercury actually gives us that opportunity to bring those things back up to the forefront, the things that we chose not to learn last time, and it gives us an opportunity to try again. With all of that being said, Mercury can be something that we're very resistant to because maybe we're afraid that technology is not going to perform properly, or someone from our past is going to come up and want something from us and maybe we're not ready to deal with that, etc., etc., etc. And what I find is that regardless of whether or not we are ready, it's happening. And if we can start curating a space here where we're open to it, we just recognize shit's going to be a little intense for a couple days, and that means my self-care is going to be my top priority. So during this time of intense energy, when I know that I'm going to be tested, I'm going to make sure that every morning I take my quiet time. Now, my quiet time does not necessarily look like anybody else's quiet time. Okay, this time in nature, to me, it's non-negotiable. I have to have it. Not everybody does, and that's okay. Maybe your quiet time is reading, and that is completely valid. Maybe you like to read the Bible. It's a great place to start. Maybe you like to read a devotional book. Sometimes those are a little bit easier to stay on track, you know? The point, maybe you do tarot. I just got my first archetype deck. And I'm really psyched to work with that. So I'll probably do a live on my Instagram at Emmy Yoga. I'm not sure what day I'm going to pick to do these archetype lives. I don't know if it'll be weekly or monthly. I haven't decided yet. We're going to go with the flow and just see how it happens. But I love the idea that these archetypes give us something to focus on for a set period of time. Now, all of us have parts of these archetypes within us. Each archetype has a light side and a dark side. So these archetypes are literally just ways for us to understand ourselves better, understand why we act out in a dark way sometimes, and learn how to shift that into a positive way. And it also helps us recognize the positive aspects that we're already exhibiting in our life. So it can be very encouraging, but it's, again, this morning quiet time is simply a time to pick one thing that we're gonna keep on our mind today. So for the entire year of 2022, I have chosen that I am getting curious and I'm leaving behind judgment. So when I feel stuck in my heart or in my head and I just don't know what's going to happen and my stress levels are rising and my ability to respond versus react is diminishing, I think, how can I get curious with this? What is the worst thing that I am afraid might happen? If the worst thing happens, what then? And then I ask myself, like, can I handle? What can I handle and what can I not handle? What is in my realm of responsibility? What can I physically touch? What can I emotionally touch? What can I spiritually touch? And what is not within my wheelhouse? If anything is outside of me, it's outside of my wheelhouse. I don't get to control it. I don't get to manage people. I don't get to control places. And I don't get to control things. Anything that's outside of this glorious temple, excuse me while I almost shut off my phone. Anything outside of this, it's not mine. So if I know what my side of the street is, how can I get curious with it? Oftentimes, we take action the way that we were taught to take action, the way that we watched our caretakers take action. Right now, I'm raising a litter of 5 puppies, and that's the mom right there. And the youngest of the 5 puppies is the biggest and loves to sit and watch his mother do grown dog things. And he imitates her. And it's the craziest thing. It's so cute to watch because it's really nature. I mean, this is like instinctual growth. So we know that we do the same thing as children. That's how babies learn how to talk, how babies learn how to walk, how babies learn how to do everything is by watching the people around them. But when we're in adulthood, it is no longer our privilege to say it is someone else's fault. They make me. They made me. Now we get to take personal responsibility. And look, there's Mama Moon up there, reminding us she's still out there. The energy is still in full force, y'all. Still in full force. So remembering, as an adult, it's now my opportunity and my responsibility to figure out why I react to certain triggers and learn how to respond instead of react. That takes a lot of unlearning a lot of times. So it's a repetitive process. If you think about it, we are from 0 to 18 or 21 or 27 if you're a millennial, that's fine, in our parents' homes, under our parents' roofs, and we are picking up on their cues. Whether or not our parents are good people, they're their own person, and we do not need to be a copy of them. We need to be ourselves, and we all inside of ourselves have our own morals and values that have been instilled in us, and our subconscious, that little voice inside of us that's not actually a voice, it's a sensation. That little sensation inside of us that says, maybe that's not the best way. Maybe that doesn't feel so right to us. That's what we have to pay attention to, because that is how we learn to tune into our heart. We get those sensations in our chest as well. A lot of times they feel like heartburn or anxiety. And that anxiety is our body telling our brain something's not connected, something's not right, something is off. And whether it be a physical issue, we have a disconnect in our spine, or we have a fascial adhesion that's inhibiting blood flow, or we have an emotional attachment to something and we can't let go in our body because our mind is stuck. So Mercury retrograde can really be such a beautiful thing. Mercury retrograde coincided with a full moon. I mean, like, talk about intense energy. Full moons are the finishers. You know, the new moon is when we start thinking about what shift we want to create over the next month or 6 months. We had a new moon in Capricorn in July of 2021. So the things that we were manifesting in July of 2021 are now coming to fruition, depending on how much we invested into that. They're coming into fruition, growing this seed. The seed is sprouting at the same time that Mercury goes, let's fuck some shit up. I don't envy us right now. It's a lot of energy and it's a lot to take in. It really is. How do we go ahead with a completed project when everything around us is taking a step back? You know, not to beat a dead horse, but that's where mindfulness comes in. A lot of times, in my opinion, in my experience, in my strength, and my hope, these are the times that we learn the most, that we grow the most, because we have had this period, the last 6 months of growth. We know what we're capable of. We know that nothing can stand in our way. We know that Mercury is just here for a little while. We know that Mercury is going to give us an opportunity to continue cleansing away whatever doesn't resonate with us, because we're going to feel it. We really are. We're going to feel it. We might want to speak out about it. And so being mindful that this is happening in the universe around us can help us be mindful in our heads so that our words don't come out as quickly. And then that can help us with our relationships. So if you've been less than a fan of Mercury retrograde, I see you. Me too. Shit, man. Like, it's not always so fun to deal with all the chaos that can ensue in life, especially when you're like, it's not my fault. I'm doing everything right. The universe is conspiring against me. Guess what? The universe will not conspire for your downfall. The universe is always conspiring for you to glow up. Just got to do the work. And I hate that it's like, you just got to do the work, because it makes it sound so trite. This work is hard. This work takes dedication. This work is not as complicated as everybody seems to make it seem. A lot of spiritual leaders are like, well, you have to read this devotional book and you can only follow this line of theology and be really careful about dark magic and dark energies are scary. Y'all, you are dark energy. You are also light energy. Learn to balance them. That's the point of it. We're not avoiding anything. We're not avoiding anything in life. We're looking at it straight on and we're saying, you know what? That's my shit. I brought that to the table. I'm not going to do it anymore because I don't feel like it. I'm going to leave that shit at home. And if I show up to the next party and I'm still carrying a little bit of that shit, whoops. My bad. Habits are hard to break. And so we just take that shit back. Maybe we apologize or make amends, clean up our mess. And in doing so, we're reminding ourselves, this was unpleasant. I don't want to do this again. And the next time we go to a party, we leave the shit at home. It takes time. That's why we have moon cycles every month, That's why those big cycles where we have a new moon in a sign, and then 6 months later, the full moon in the sign, that 6 months, how much can you accomplish in 6 months? That's a lot. It's a lot. Just focusing on being curious. What can I shift in myself to create a better outcome? I've been talking for 15 minutes straight, so I'm done. I love you. See you next time.